Another episode of this series? Damn. But does it get better? Definitely not. At least it's entertaining for like 100 people, so let's start! As usual, the first thing I made today was checking on the minions, while organizing the storage by compressing the items and, if possible, upgrade them as much as I can. In the O'Clock collection, we unlock an upgrade to the minion storage, and the more storage, the more resources they can produce while I'm sleeping. Now, instead of just 3 extra slots, they have now 9, so a really good upgrade. Checking the spawn, there was some new faces at the entrance of the mayor's building. In the left, we had a guy called Bingo that told us to come back later. And at the other side there was Simon, who is the owner of Hypixel if you didn't know. He told me that in a few days there would be an extremely rare event that only occurs every 100 years in Skyblock, or every 560 days in real life. So we need to make sure we participate in this event when it starts. For now, we explored this part of the island, but for us to progress in the game, we need to visit also other islands. So I think it was time for us to put a pause to this exploration and travel to the gold mines for the first time. This island was not as big as you can see, and there was only 5 guys that we had to talk. The first one that I found was the gold forger that sold a bunch of gold related stuff and an interesting weapon. This weapon was weak, but had an interesting ability that made more 150 damage to mobs in the mining island, so it could be useful for the future. On the other side there was the iron forger, and instead of selling gold stuff he sold iron. That was hard to guess. But yeah, there was nothing else to find on the outside, and that means it was time to check the inside of the mines. On the left there was a small chamber with a blacksmith that did the same as the one that we found on the previous episode in the village, so reforging. And on the big central door there was Rusty, an extremely useful villager. When we make quests in this game, sometimes we can win unique items, but what happens if we lost that item? Well, it's gone forever, you need to start the game all over again. Unless you have a buddy like Rusty that allow us to buy an item that we won in quests and lost. In my case, I could only buy the sword that we got in the pilot episode, but yeah, this feature is too good. And close to the villager there was the lazy miner that gave us the quest to explore the mines and find his pickaxe. After a while of exploring and getting resources in this maze, I found the pickaxe and returned it to that lazy bastard. And now I need to use that pickaxe to get some iron and gold to give to our fellow Rusty. In the normal game you need to pick, for example, the iron ore first, smelt it on a furnace, and then you get the iron. But in this case the pickaxe that we found had an enchant that smelted the items automatically. So because of that we unlocked 2 new collections, being that the iron collection and the gold collection. After we finished the quest we could keep this pickaxe as a reward, and if we lost it we could buy it again from him, as I explained before. Now we officially finished this entire island. It was a lot faster than I expected. So let's go back home because we have new stuff to make. When I unlock a new collection, I always want to craft a minion of that resource as fast as possible, because that will allow us to progress faster. So I smelted the iron and gold that we had, and in the meantime I had made our island a little safer by expanding the bridges and edges, because if we fall, we die. But yeah, once everything finished smelting, I crafted 2 new minions, and that being obviously the gold minion and the iron minion. When I place a new minion, I also try to make every upgrade possible, for example placing the chest that gives them more storage. But once everything was done, I was left with nothing to do. So I decided to go to the next mining island, and this one is awesome. And is called the Deep Caverns. This is like a story. We start at the hub, we go to the gold mine, and once everything is finished, we unlock the Deep Caverns. This island have nothing at the surface, but it's really big on the underground. We could say that this island got 6 levels, each one with a unique resource and a unique mob, and each mob also has a special drop that we will see in a bit. The first level is the Gunpowder Mines, that has gold, iron and coal, so nothing new. And the special mob is a creeper that I didn't saw a single time. This level also had 2 NPCs, that being the lift operator, that is a shortcut to the other levels once we unlock them, and Walter, that was selling TNT close to a wall with cracks on it. So I bought 1 TNT and exploded the wall to reveal something called a fairy soul. For now I don't want to talk about them, so let's leave them for the future. After exploring a wall, I found the access to level 2. The Lapis Quarry, and with it a new resource and a new collection, that being Lapis, and a new mob, the Lapis Zombie. Currently I could kill the zombies in 2-3 hits, but I wanted to kill them with just 1 hit. Why? Well, I told you before that mobs in this island have special drops that I want. The creeper on the first level was just a normal creeper, so there was no special drops, but the the Lapis Zombie can drop his entire armor and a special reforge. Each piece of armor has a chance of 1% to drop, which is the same as the Lapis Crystal or the special reforge. Sometimes some special mobs with more HP can spawn, and these guys just drop something called a gun, that is just a cosmetic, and is related to the weird guy that we found on the previous episode, so we don't care. This was also the first time in this series I was killing a mob, so we finally started upgrading the combat skill level, giving us some coins and making us stronger to the point where I just needed 2 hits to kill the zombie. But that's not enough, because I wanted to farm efficiently, so I needed to kill them with just a single hit. While I was testing how much damage I could do by upgrading the combat skill level a little more, I got our first special drop, a chestplate. Now we could start replacing our old leaflet armor that we made in the pilot episode with this one that had more defense stats and had a special ability that gave us more 50% XP while mining. After a little bit we got another special drop, our second reforged stone in this series, that being the Lapis Crystal. I guess I am getting pretty lucky, so it's just missing the rest of the armor to complete this level. I knew this luck was not going to last, so I went back at home to think how could I make more damage to kill the zombies in just one hit, and farm them efficiently. Don't forget that it's just a 1% chance to drop each piece, and we could even get repeated stuff, so this was important to save lifetime. Before that, it was time to craft 2 new minions with the resources we got, so the Lapis minion and a zombie minion. Yes, we can also farm mobs. For this type of minions, we have to make a small setup for the zombies not to walk around our island, but that's just it. To make more damage, I decided to put on the sword all the enchants possible, but there is something that I did not tell you in the previous episode. Sometimes we need to choose between one and another enchant. It's like taking the blue or red pill. For example, I could put Sharpness on the sword, making 30% more damage to all mobs, or Smite that makes more 60% damage but only to undead mobs, like zombies. First, I choose Sharpness, but later I changed it to Smite because it was better for what I wanted. This was not enough to kill the zombies with one hit, but we were getting closer and closer. Currently, I just needed the rest of the armor to finish this floor, but my luck decided to be a joke because I was getting everything that I already had. The odds are exactly the same to get the armor, but for some stupid reason, I just got a bunch of reforged stones. And to be even more funny, when I finally got another piece of armor, it was the chestplate again. Fantastic! Because I was upgrading my fighting skill level, I was also upgrading my pet B level, giving me more strength. To a point where I still needed 2 hits to kill the zombies, but I was leaving them at 1 HP. But it didn't take long to level up again, and finally I could one-shot every mob at this level. And finally I could farm them in the most efficient way possible. To do that, I had my sword fully upgraded to make the most amount of damage, and I was also using the sword that we got in the pilot episode that give us speed, and we could kill them even faster. And after 2 chest plates, 7 reforged stones and some runes, we finally got another piece of armor, the boots. It didn't take a while until I got the element, and the leggings, completing the armor. We even got some repeated pieces of armor and a bunch of reforged stones, but to my luck I could sell them all to any of the merchants. I decided also to enchant a little of the armor and craft a new item that we got on the gold collection because of the minions. This is a weapon that has better base stats than ours, but it's still not better because of the ability that makes more damage to undead mobs. Going back to the mines, and before going to the next floor, there was an objective to upgrade our Lapis collection, so I farmed a little, and after that we got another quest to craft a Lapis pickaxe. This pickaxe gave us more 25% XP while mining, but it wasn't better than ours. So I gave back this pick to an NPC in the mines, and we officially finished the second floor. As a reward we received an item called a compactor. This was an upgrade to the minions that saved a lot of storage. Basically, it would automatically turn the items into their block form if possible. In our case, we had 4 alternatives, like we could place this upgrade in the coal, iron, gold and lapis minions. I decided to place it in the Lapis because it was the minion that was getting full the fastest. I will actually eventually place compactors in all of the other minions for efficiency because we can craft them. Going back to the mines, it was time to go to the 3rd level, the Pigmen's Den, unlocking a new collection, that being Redstone. In this level there was the Redstone miner who gave me the quest to pick a bunch of redstone. So this level had redstone as the main resource, and we could find pigments who had a special drop, the Flaming Sword, that has a 1% chance of dropping. By pure luck I got the drop in my second kill. Now we just need to make the quest. This sword was really cool looking, but it was still not better than the one I was using. And after a little while I finished the quest of picking redstone, talked to the redstone miner again, and he gave us a second quest of doing the exact same. And by now, we unlocked something really important. Remember on the previous episode where I talked about talismans and how we need to keep them always in our inventory? Well, because of the Redstone collection, we unlocked the Accessory Bag where we could place all of our talismans, saving space. This space can be further upgraded, storing like dozens of accessories, even hundreds. By doing this quest of picking more redstone, the reward was one additional slot to this Accessory Bag. The thing is, after each quest, he asked more and more redstone, until I gave him 1000 redstone, finish all the quests at this floor, and winning like 4 spaces upgrade in the Accessory Bag. Going back at home, it was time to craft the redstone minion, to upgrade the redstone collection even further and make every upgrade possible to the minion itself. In the previous episodes, we visited the weaponsmith and the armorer that had some items that we didn't get because they were locked. So I went back there now, and because we upgraded our fighting skill level, I bought everything I could, including the arsenal shortbow who shoots arrows instantly, and in the armorer we could get 5 new sets of armor, being one that didn't get any special abilities and it was pretty weak, but I still got it for collection. Another armor that had better defense stats than the one we are using, so this might be an upgrade. And I even bought another armor that instead of having a lot of defense, it increased the many values for me to use abilities. Oh yeah, and the 2 other sets that I didn't bought were like an upgrade from these last 2, but they were very expensive and I still didn't have enough money, but I will definitely buy them in the next episode. And to finish, I organized my inventory, checked on all of the items that we got, so we have an armor for farming, another for fighting, one to do abilities, and one for mining. For now I will be using this one, because it got better defense stats, but yeah, I know barely anyone reaches the end of the videos, or even like them, but thank you anyway, and see you next week. Oh, you're still here. That means you liked it? There is actually a playlist with all of the episodes now, that could be useful for you. Why am I kidding? No one reaches the end of my videos, like, no one. So I'm talking to myself, see ya.